Here's the painting that you commissioned, sir. I accentuated your wealth by putting you in this dashing outfit.
I love it. It really brings out how rich and sophisticated I am. I'm going to hang this over my mantle so all of my guests can admire it. But can't you see how boring it is? It looks the same as almost every other portrait from the last 200 years. The style is the same, the race and the status of the subject are the same. Even the way the subject is sitting is the same as almost every other portrait. Artist, don't you ever want to experiment a little bit?
I'm just painting the way that has been passed on from generations. All the good artists from Europe did it, so I figured that's the way you ought to paint.
Yes, and that's how it should be. Young critic, you don't know anything about real art. Hold on to your britches, old man. There's a storm coming.
I made this landscape painting to break free from portrait painting. Instead of flaunting off someone's wealth, I chose to show off the beauty of nature.
Yeah, sure, nature is pretty and all, but what's the point? It doesn't bring more status to anyone. It might make someone feel good for a second or two, but where's their money to be made in that?
Actually, landscape paintings evolved from paintings that showed off rich people's property.
But it isn't someone's property anymore, it's just land. But it's not just about art. This romanticized painting of the land will convince people to move west. Okay, as long as it doesn't change anymore.
I painted the same thing as the previous era, but I changed the style to be more creative.
This is the same thing as previous paintings, but worse. Art will regress back to the Stone Age if we continue down this route. I see it as progress from the last era. Now, the artist is incorporating their own impression into the piece. If you want a realistic picture, you can use a camera.
Correct. I paid a lot of attention to bring out the light in the scene. I used loose brushstrokes that may seem disorganized, but actually serve a purpose of accentuating the texture and emotion.
Don't you see? She put a lot of thought into this painting. It's far more complex than those super realistic paintings. Even if that's true, it doesn't have any purpose. Art has its own purpose now.
Instead of just showing rich people, it gives more representation to the working middle class.
This is just a picture of poor people doing boring, poor people things. I thought art was about using creativity to express yourself. But this is expression. This is an expression of the majority of society. Now they can be represented for who they are without being sugar-coated and romanticized.
Yes, I'm capturing the essence of the working class by the honest subject matter and also through the realistic style.
Finally, more people are getting a voice.
With this painting, African Americans finally get more representation along with majority white middle class. I depict the free spirit of African American culture using a cartoonish style, paying homage to their roots.
African Americans, in art, there's not enough room in the art community for everyone. This movement is only getting attention because people feel sorry for them. That's the exact mentality that keeps minority groups in oppression. By expanding our artistic scope, we are creating a more diverse body of people to express themselves, which ultimately creates a superior creative environment.
This painting represents the corruption of large corporations in our society. This makes our lives regulated and meaningless. The subject matter is a meaningless product of these corporations, and therefore has intrinsic meaning.
I call BS. This is just a bag of chips, and there is no way you can convince me otherwise. I could find this image in a grocery store in an advertisement, but for free. You're missing the point. The meaning behind the art is what matters, and I think it's an important issue of contemporary society. Maybe you are biased because you have been led to believe that these corporations have your interests at heart. Fine, let's assume that all big businesses are evil. You say that it represents the corrupt monolithic corporations? Well, by taking this piece of the society that you criticize and marketing it, you are no better than these corporations. If you choose to believe that the artist is corrupt and the painting is useless, then you are limiting your perspective. The observer contributes just as much to the piece as the artist, after all. But if you want to believe what the system is feeding you, that's your choice.
My painting is simple because art doesn't have to be overcomplicated. If you try to apply real-world concepts to this piece, you will miss the point. It's supposed to give you something to feel, or rather something to apply to your emotions.
What? What is this? A realistic bag of chips at least takes more talent than this. I don't know why you're complaining, old critic. Why, this is the work of a genius. The size and the slight imperfection of the dot is expertly chosen. And that precise shade of indigo is phenomenal. You know what? I think you just don't get it. You don't know anything about real art. I don't think there's anything to get.
Whoa, both of you are thinking way too hard about this. Young critic, you're so concerned with the little details that you're completely missing the big idea. Old critic, you just see people pretending to understand the art, and you conclude there must be nothing to it at all. Both of you base the interpretation on how a painting makes you feel, not on the opinions of others.
That's what I was saying all along.